for Harris.
Yeah.
I'm going to go to Lemire now.
Okay, let's do that.
Never misses it. Never misses it. I'm going to Lemire now.
Okay, you do it, honey. All
hey,
right.
Jonathan, now there's a part where I'm coming to you, which I was told.
Ready
to that. TJ goes,
Inside voice.
Goes, take the prompt. Take the prompt.
Okay.
Anyway, this whole story about plateauing, I just want to bring this up. And as Sam said, psychiatrists across Manhattan, they basically get a month's worth of work the day after a New York Times Siena poll comes out. Today, it's like 47-47, but they threw in the Pennsylvania deal just sort of as a mood regulator for some people on the Upper East Side, Upper West Side.
To cut through antidepressant.
Yeah, exactly. So it's sort of like they got to stabilize it. So anyway,
it's a mixture.
But that said, the only plateau there was the New York Times Siena poll, and I'm serious. You look at the polls that are out there right now. A lot of the ones that have come out the last couple of days, national polls have Harris up 3, 4, 5, 6 points. These polls show certainly in the most important swing states a significant move towards her. Wisconsin really tight, and of course, Wisconsin is wider. Wisconsin is older. That's a state, really, that Joe Biden was overperforming in because he did better with older white voters than he did with other groups that he usually underperformed on. So I think that's what we're seeing in Wisconsin. But right now, Michigan, Pennsylvania, if you're looking at these numbers, if you're also looking at what I still think may be in a tight race in all these swing states, the most important story, and that is that Joe Biden and Kamala Harris together have been burying millions and millions of dollars and building up a ground game over the past year, in part because Biden is an old-time Paul that says ground game. In close races, even the Trump people will tell you a good ground game's worth half a point in any state, especially when the other side is outsourcing their ground game because they never had the discipline to build it. So this is, again, not great news for Harris, but certainly not good news for Donald Trump.
Right.
Yeah, let's first take a beat on that ground game. Let's remember, of course, that the RNC was then co-opted by the Trump campaign and Trump family, and they used resources for some of his legal bills for a time as opposed to working on that ground game. Well, you're right, that starting under President Biden, when he was the candidate, and continued under Vice President Harris, the Democrats have a massive advantage in all the battleground states in terms of offices. And they've seen, after Harris moved to the top of the ticket, a surge in volunteers. I've been told they don't even have enough jobs for people who want to do them because there's such enthusiasm for her. That's got to help. And we shouldn't overlook, she's going to have a massive financial advantage as well. She's really out fundraised Trump and will have to spend less time going forward doing so, more time on the campaign trail. Certainly in terms of these polls, you mentioned Wisconsin, even in Pennsylvania as well. It's a state that's whiter than most of the country. And the poll shows some strength here from Harris, on white voters and even with older voters. Now, not as strong as Joe Biden, which is why I think the Harris campaign is going to use Biden in targeted fashions to speak to those demographics going forward. The race is very close, but the trend lines favor Harris. And in terms of, guys, the spin of these polls is always amusing. Whenever a poll comes out that shows a tight race, Republicans always grab it and say, look, we're doing really well, like motivate our voters. We're doing well. We're going to win. I think some of that's also to pump up their candidate. Well, Democrats do the other way. This is trouble. We're underdog because they know they don't want to take things for granted. They want to keep working. And the Harris campaign feeding into that, saying, look, we have a lot of work to do. We're still losing, even though polls suggest she's not.
Coming up, a look at some of the other stories making headlines this morning, including a huge lawsuit related to that bridge collapse in Baltimore in March, plus a preview